Hello everyone, this is Bic Benedict. Welcome to the final video in my guide and walkthrough for Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate HD for the PlayStation 3. So this is the third phase of the third quest, Trevor's quest in particular. Up to the left is a door that you cannot currently go through since we don't have that upgrade for the combat cross. So this video will cover our acquisition of that particular accessory for the combat cross, as well as the boss fight at the conclusion of the video. So we'll be facing Dracula, and we're ever closing in on him. So if you don't know, the light magic will heal you if you make contact with the enemy via a hit, and it will drain your magic. And the shadow magic deals more damage. So we are going to be facing an executioner. I did trim out this cutscene here. We'll be coming back to this location once we get the, I think they're called the speed boots in this game. They're called the cyclone boots in the previous game. So just some annoying platforming up ahead. I did fall off this ledge over here mid-combat fighting these gargoyles, so when you see the crossfade, that's when that actually occurred. There we go, that happened right there. I didn't receive any damage though, that was good. Other than that, there's just a lot of secrets around, and I would advise just placing notes for a later date. There is a point when you cannot backtrack anymore, right after the executioner actually. So you're gonna have to maybe come back to the story at a later date, maybe once you've completed the campaign like I intend to. But I don't think I'll touch this game anymore after I finish it. I mean, I've already almost finished the game twice, and you know, I want to play other things, obviously. So this is a pretty annoying fight here versus the executioner. Only because, well, I think I no damaged him actually, but the thing was, I died a lot of times here, and the main thing, as you can well imagine, is the hunchback. The two hunchbacks over there, one guy's controlling the cart and the other guy is throwing bombs. So how do you best solve this situation? You can use the hurricane. It's L2, hold L2 and then hold the square button after you've done the punch. I don't know what it's called exactly, but you can't jump over this guy until he telegraphs that he's going to charge at you. Then you can jump over him. The game will not let you jump over him. So what I do is try to do this move as much as I can. The problem is it takes a long time to build up to that move, and in the process the guys in the background are throwing those grenades at you. So I mean, if this could give you any hope, me doing this without even getting hit, you know, that should be something that you realize that it's not too hard. It's just that you've got to train your focus on not only the boss, but the guys throwing the shit in the background. And that was a really close call right there. I was lucky to not receive any damage, and I wasn't even trying to do this no damage. You know, you've got to divide your concentration and really prioritize the guy. You know, the boss we're fighting, he's so easy that you can kind of look away from him as much as you can. Like, most of the time I'm just looking in the background and see what those guys are doing. I'm just listening for audio cues. But certainly you can get boxed into a corner, and you know, if the boss is boxing you into a corner and they're throwing their grenades at you, it's really hard to get out of it unscathed. you know, let alone survive it. But this move just demolishes the guy. Now, sometimes you could use your sub-weapons to full effect. Other times to be blocking them. So it's kind of a, you know, whenever I do like, you know, like too many things, I get into bad streaks of not being successful in combat. And then whenever I focus like just strictly on combat, I do really well. Like this case right here. You know, sure I threw a sub weapon and sure I activated the light and shadow magic. You know, I was distributing my attacks and things like that, but I was primarily focused on the guys in the background and then just dodging the boss's attacks. Now in here we're going to get another accessory, so we can open these doors now. You may have noticed several of these as we have got to this location, so you have to backtrack, and I actually tried to backtrack over here, and the wall was hindering my progress. I couldn't backtrack, so I imagine you would probably have to restart the game from chapter select to go get those extra prizes. But seriously, we have enough health and magic to take care of the final boss, and you know, he's easier than the time before, so it shouldn't be an issue. This stuff is really annoying over here. Not really this, but once we get to the clock tower, really annoying shit. But they give you plenty of checkpoints. I mean, at one point they'll just let you do it until you win, basically. And that's all well and good, because I died just dozens of times, just, you know. I think even over here, oh no, I think you have to at least get to the clock tower. So just stand on here. You don't want to go. You don't want to stand on the platform, and then now these retract into the sides of this wall here. So be very careful. It works pretty well. I mean, even if you fail to jump, you're normally going to be grabbing hold of the side of it. What do we have here? Yeah, this isn't too bad. We're just doing, you know, some minor platforming. I don't know where they would throw you back. They might throw you back pretty far over here. So, yeah, that just bear with it, I guess. Once we go up this elevator, though, then you'll have as many failing, you know, death fails as you possibly need over here, because it's just deplorable how horrible this works. So you don't want to go through there. You can't yet. So what you need to do is jump over to these, and then go over to the left. But I kind of got caught here, I think. Yep, got caught right there. These steam jets don't subside either, so they're constant. And took some necessary damage right there, just unavoidable. There's a nice scroll over there, but I've already gotten it. And there's a health upgrade coming up too, which I missed. So this was just a complete accident. Did not expect to live, but was laughing during the whole process. But it really is a testament to how good the game works, or how well the game works. You know, for someone to survive all that. And the next thing we're going to be doing once we scale this, which isn't too hard, is we're going to have an opportunity to get that health chest, like I mentioned. And I'm surprised I didn't get it for the first time around. I must have been so focused on just clearing the game as quickly as possible to start this guide, which I'm really proud of this guide. I like this game. Every time I do a Castlevania guide, it's really fun and challenging. But anyway, there are two sequences that you can do here with the magics. So doing shadow and shadow will get you up. We'll get you a little platform here to go get the health chest, and it's all guessing. I think I missed this one. Yeah, that causes the middle one to come out, but that's not going to help you because you can't reach it. Over to the right is this magic font. They are called fonts, not founts. I looked in the menu. So red and red will give you access to this. It'll cause the laser to close, and then you'll come up here. Again, I don't know how I missed this. But there you go, Bob's your uncle. Increased our maximum amount of health. And now, to get up there, I think you need to do red and then blue. And then we'll be in the Belfry area, I believe. And there are no clues or any kind of hints about those. It's just guesswork. But since there's only two slots, it's not too bad. So just make your way up here. I think we have another elevator ride. Oh no, this door here. And we get the speed boots. So it works the same as in Lords of Shadow. You just double tap away from you, and then press the X button at the proper time. And there is no interacting with it. It just does the jump as long as you press the X button. Okay, we're going to move on to the next section, and this is the second time I've had to narrate this voice clip. But first of all, we have a fight here versus an animated armor plus some gargoyles. But what I was saying was, every time I'm doing a voice recording for the final video of a guide, the file always gets corrupted. Anyway, there is an optional battle at the end of this where you're fighting two of the animated armors. So definitely take out the gargoyle. And I haven't mentioned this before, but you can get a lot more hang time if you're holding down the circle button in the air to throw an attack, even if you don't necessarily need to throw one. Just staying off the floor sometimes can really save you, especially if he has yet to retract his weapon there. So we're nearing Dracula, and I've got to say it's one of the finest fights I have ever played in any game. And that's not to say it's the best fight I've ever played, nor is it to say that it's the best I've ever done on a fight, but it's the most challenging and yet the fairest fight I've ever fought, and the most enjoyable as a result. It can be frustrating if like me, it takes like an hour to beat him, which it did. It took me at least a full hour of struggle and practicing and learning the patterns over again from my hard run campaign. So what's going to help you? Having enough health, that'll help you, but other than that, your knowledge of parries and timing and patterns is going to help you the most. You won't have to use your magic because you're going to have an infinite amount of magic, and you're not going to need any sub-weapons because they're just pointless on Dracula. Other than that, it is really damn challenging. Because what's going to happen, though, in theory, it's not too bad, but in practice, because the theory is, and it's true, every time you hit him, you'll take damage. You'll take damage off him, plus you'll receive a little health back because you're going to be hitting him with the opposite color that he has equipped. So if he's got the shadow magic activated, you have to use the light magic to damage him whatsoever. And it works the opposite way with the other color. But for all those times you've done a boss fight, and like the boss has stolen your health or stolen your magic, it's kind of payback for that, and it works so well that there's only like a few minor problems too of getting back into a corner sometimes, and you know, one overpowered move that I think is overpowered and should have been tamed down a little bit with his sword attack. But that's pretty much it. And again, you don't have to do that fight that I just did. You could skip it. You can just go up this elevator. There's no penalty for doing it. But basically, Gabriel, there's 3 phases to the fight. The first phase, you're going to have to use light magic against his dark magic, his shadow magic. Is that how it goes? Yeah, he's going to have light magic activated. This is just your basic bullshit scenario here. Just slide down these walls. You will get a checkpoint. I'll point it out where it is. And this is just a source of real frustration, to be sure. So just press the R2 button once, twice, and then 3 times right there. You just have to be very precise here. And your checkpoint is right here, like right there. So at least they give you a checkpoint. I mean, they could have not, and it would have been really bad. But you can just slide right past these hunchbacks. And again, you just have to be really precise. And it's hard to know, you know, where you're supposed to jump. Right here, you need to stop for a moment until the gears get destroyed. And then just continue on your way. We're almost done. There we go. And then just click the R2 button one more time, and then you've won that situation. And then we're going on. We're leaving the Belfry, I think. Yeah, we just have a little bit more traversing to do. So how Dracula works is, and I was going to put Dracula in a standalone video, but I just wanted to have all the quests contained in 3 videos per character. So how he works is he's got 3 phases. The first phase, like I mentioned before, you have to be using the shadow magic while he has his light magic activated. And you have to, you know, to be successful in that fight, I would say that you have to parry his 2 parryable attacks, which are always his first 2 attacks. Now, when he has his sword, it's the same as for when he has his claws. It's just that I have a harder time parrying the claws because I guess knowing when he strikes me is a little bit more ambiguous, and perhaps the time window is not as great as it is when he has his sword. But there will be an edit down here, and we will be going up to the throne room. The second phase of the fight, he'll have his shadow magic activated, and then you're going to have to use your light magic for attacks. And then the third phase, and there's no checkpoints anywhere. The third phase, he's just going to mix and match with the colors, and you have to be hitting him with the opposite magic. And there's only one move that he does in the final phase that he doesn't do in the other 2 phases, where he throws like a barrier out beside him. And the only way you can prevent that from hitting you is to use the same magic as the barrier that's going to hit you. So if he's hitting you with the light magic barrier, you need to make sure that you have your own light magic activated. So these are, I don't know why I kept this fight in. It's not even a fight, it's just a bunch of quick time events. But it has been a pleasure to do this game, and I'm just gonna really enjoy Lords of Shadow 2 when it comes out. So everybody stick around next February for that particular guide. It'll be on the hardest difficulty setting. Within a few weeks of the game's release, you'll see a guide on this channel, guaranteed. So I think we're just going to be tapping the square button right here, and it's nothing big. They give you a checkpoint or 2 around here somewhere, and then we'll finally be facing Gabriel, Dracula. Okay, should be occurring right over here. Just going to go up the stairs, use the speed boots to jump over the chasm. And then we'll have this fight commence. Okay, phase 1. He's going to do, see that? Attack 1, attack 2, both are parryable, not blockable, and you can punish him very well. Now when he does that, what I like to do is back off, do a double jump, and then fly down. L2, hold, plus down. That's how you do that. And just remember that whenever you hit him, you're going to be getting a little bit of health back. So in these earlier phases, there's fewer risks as far as parrying. And the reason I pause it every time there's a new phase, I pause it because sometimes they start you on a side that you weren't on before. So my brain is trying to register where I'm located, and then he's hitting me. Now these right here, you don't necessarily need to block like I'm doing, but I'm blocking anyway, just out of old habit. But he does it 5 times, so every time you hear him growl, that's when you need to roll away. So we got another parry right there, and you have infinite magic, but his hits are very devastating. So just listen for him to growl and then move. And just roll. You really need to focus on trying to do your absolute best here, because there's not a lot of room for forgiveness on this fight. It's very difficult. But human error is something you have to accept, and you just have to minimize it by trying to do your absolute best. So this is the 3rd phase. He's going to alternate between the light and shadow magic attacks here. Now he does that, which is easy to avoid. Just jump into the air to avoid the blast. And just whenever his attacks glint, that means you have to stay away. Here's his barrier attack. Just see how I did that? I just used the same color he was using. It went right through me. You don't even have to guard. But really focus not on hitting him right there, but just evading. Be very careful. Yeah, see, what can you really do about that? You're getting boxed into a corner. You can't fly through him like you can with Alucard. So this will probably take you a while. And right there, he did his area shadow effect. It can be hard to alternate between the colors, but if you play Lords of Shadow, you'll be instantly familiar with this conceit. And ooh, that was a nice parry right there. Very well, not really. It was kind of both fortunate and skillful. I don't like to fully blame fortune, because then where does that leave my skill? But as this fight progresses, and with no checkpoints anywhere, you have to really assess how much risk you want to take. Like right here, I really was not even expecting to win, but this just proves that you can come back from almost losing in the entire fight. And provided you don't make any mistakes. Like right here, I could not make a single mistake until I accrued more health. There's just no way around that. So parry again, that I probably would have killed me right there if I had failed the parry. But we've already done a similar fight like this before, and now this is just one of the best fights I've ever done. And not me personally, like skill level, but this fight is so masterfully crafted as well. I mean, it is very hard. I'm not going to say, even with a full, I'm a few health upgrades from my maximum health, but even with that, it's still damn challenging. So right about now, I'm just kind of staying away from him, keeping distance between myself and him, and parrying if necessary, and not getting in his face. Just trying to stay out of the corner. He will back off, and had to parry right there. Could do nothing except parry. So switch to the other magic to go through the barrier, and using the speed boots right there wasn't part of my plan. It just did it, and it was actually fortunate that it actually kicked in. So remember to evade 5 times here. Don't focus on hitting, just focus on not getting damaged. And we almost have him won, but just don't take it for granted. Don't take anything for granted here. Always do your best, and just staying away from his attacks. He's going to do the barrier attack again, so I need to match the color. And took a little bit of damage there, not too much. He's going to do his. See how it's all patterns. There's no tricks up his sleeve. it's all fair. There is a final parry right there, which would have, it wouldn't have cost me the fight, but it would have, things could have gone downhill. But anyway, that's the conclusion of the fight. You get a checkpoint right around here somewhere, and when he throws the flares at you, you just need to go to where you'll see a momentary crescent on a portion of the circle. So if it's like diagonal left, that's where you need to move your character to avoid the damage. But anyway, February 25th, 2014, Lords of Shadow 2 comes out, and stick around, and I'm going to be covering it on the hardest difficulty. And once again, it's been a pleasure to do this guide, and I appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching and participating, and I hope that you cleared this difficulty, hardcore difficulty.